Otherwise, with that being said, welcome to another episode of the POV, where no one is ever wrong. It depends on the point of view where you are standing at. And today we have a very special guest. First and foremost, she's the first lady to be at the POV, at least to be published, I might add. Let me introduce the people I'm with. This is Z, this is B, and I'll let Miss B as introduce her fully.
Oh, hi, thank you for having me. It's so wonderful because I'm the first woman to be here. Yes. All right, I'm Miss B, but my actual name is Bui Kumalo. As a whole lot of people know me. Yes, well.
And I think we still have to go through that with how did we derive in calling you Miss B. Now, when I first saw you, ngangibona uthisha and I like, okay, no, uthisha kwenza kanjani kodwa ke asikho lapho we can continue. I'm sorry to this.
Well, I can tell you the story of how I came to be called Miss B. I think it was 2014, yes, 2014. So we just started the Saturday classes, and our first project was with Ilovu High School. And then the principal there, I introduced my name is Bui Kumalo, but every time they just come in and be like, Miss B.
So,
you know,
I guess
and then, so the guys ended up calling me Miss B, and then eventually everyone called me Miss B. So that's how it came about.
So Miss B is a professional teacher. Amongst many things.
I guess.
Okay, then.
Some will say the principal, some will say a tutor,
Okay.
some will say the teacher. So yeah.
So Miss B, besides being a teacher, what else does she do?
I do a lot of things. I'm not a teacher by profession, anyways. Okay.
Principal.
So, well, some people call me principal because we're running the matric upgrading school. So I'm like the branch manager. But then, because you are the one who's always in the faces of everyone, you know, coordinating and managing everything. So some people end up saying you're the principal of the school, you know? Yes. So, but I don't have any background in terms of education, qualification, being a teacher. No. I like to call myself a philanthropist. A community activist, because my work or everything that I do has to do with working with people, working with communities, working with the youth, and also in the space of education and development. So that's me. That is how I actually got to be called Miss B, and some people thinking I'm the teacher, because that's where I specialize: education and development, career advancement and development, and so on. Even my foundation also deals more with that. So that is why, like, I'm well vested in the field of education, basically.
So amongst these many things that you do, whether it's your foundation, being in the matric upgrade, what is it that is mostly dear to your heart, the closest?
I would just say everything that I do goes back to me being a philanthropist. So, because it speaks to the act of giving.
Okay.
You know, it's giving back to the communities, giving back to, you know, the youth. It's giving back to the country as a whole.
Okay.
So with the foundation being a Tisbani, you know, education and everything, I'll just sum it up into me being just, you know, being passionate about giving and making sure that everyone I come into contact with, they get fully developed and empowered to be the best they can be. Okay. So everything for me just links up into giving.
I recently saw your post, and I think we did work there and there, but I didn't get the idea. It seems, are you owning an HO, be it involved in anything such? Because I saw your post, you were with girls and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about that.
So I have Ibu Yukuma Foundation, which is an NPC. And then also we have a new establishment called Soul Me Movement.
Okay.
So yes, Soul Me Movement. I think that's what you saw. Basically, we had an event last week Sunday because it was declared as the International Day of the Girlchild by United Nations.
Cute.
So yes. So we decided to do the same event in South Africa because a lot of other countries were doing the same event. And then we did that under the umbrella of Soul Me. Because with Soul Me, we're looking mostly at the empowerment of a girl child.
Okay.
So we go to different schools, different communities, even colleges, talk to young girls, bringing awareness about their rights and their responsibilities, and also the things that they need to do or maybe sort of do away with while they're trying to achieve full freedom for themselves and doing the best they can to actually have like a brighter future, you know.
Okay.
So that's what Soul Me is about. I'm also involved in many other entities. Like, I'm a very busy person.
No, we can tell. We can tell really because
like all over.
Sometimes I'm so confused as to what exactly is this people.
well, I doubt that you need to have an exact thing that you do as a human body. I always say, I don't want to be grouped into just one thing.
Yeah.
For instance, if you saw me doing a degree for 4 years, it doesn't mean that for the rest of my life I will be doing that.
Exactly.
I was once told that development is multidimensional, multidirectional, life and plastic and flexible and so on. So I didn't want to be grouped. So I applaud you for being multi-talented and multi-invested. So I would want to give you this compliment. You came highly recommended, not just from one person, but there's quite a number of people. When I called, we're talking now. In the POV, would love to host a female, and we've already have 5 episodes. I would like at least for the rest of the 5 episodes, let's have a female. Okay. And out of 2 people, they said Miss P. So I was like, okay, she's once came to the studio. I will do a little bit of research. Obviously, mostly will be coming from you, but I'm really interested in having her. If then that's the case. So I guess you are doing something.
I wonder what was the actual scope.
Why you?
Well, no, like the kind of a person you're looking for that people even recommended me.
No, we really want someone who's selfless, someone who's not doing something that is just them, but that will touch other people in the road. Because even our previous episode, we had a gentleman Mzamborek who was speaking about gender-based violence. So it's a song, but that song is not only for him. He was not saying like dress cool. It was a message. Yeah. So that is what we are trying to stumble upon, just to get people who are not only living for themselves. Like we Kumalo Foundation. Yes. That is not only for you. It covers. So in your foundation, what do you do?
So being a part of it is more on women empowerment, and then obviously my niche, career development, consultancy, and so on. We do a lot of facilitation, running workshops for either the youth or the girls, also trainings in terms of research skills. So I've worked with a couple of schools. I've also worked with eThekwini Municipality, training their interns in terms of research development. So that's what mainly we do. And then part of it, we have the program directing.
Okay.
Yes. It's a service that we provide as BUK, also as me, okay. But then with the BUK Foundation and myself, obviously, I'm trying to, to build my brand as a person, and also the foundation.
I like the
legacy I have to leave.
I like the name, to be quite honest. It's BUK.
Yeah.
You see how now POV is bringing people together. Miss P, I've known Miss P. I had her numbers, but I didn't know how.
Because you never asked.
I never asked. I always see. The reason why I'm saying that is because I think there were T-shirts that were done. Yes, I only saw a logo and stuff, and I was like, what is this? Because I know this is Miss P. And Isibani. But now here's the thing, and it's going on. I've been seeing pictures and so on. So,
we are going to talk about Isibani because I see you are really invested in career guidance and anything that has to do with careers. And I think Isibani, you will of course talk more about Isibani and what it does. But how do you have a team in your foundation?
Yes, I do.
If so, how many people are
I
there?
do have a team. Currently, we are 7.
7.
Yeah.
Wow. So I respect that. The reason why I ask is because anything that has to do with other people, you might have the passion and the dream, you might be goal-driven, but I think the most difficult thing to do is to take whatever idea you have and feed it to other people. And for you to have 7 people and you are comfortable to say 7, that means you already work with these people. It's very difficult. So I would want to give you full credit on that. So you see, you're doing some wonders, to be quite honest.
It is difficult. I mean, to get someone actually sharing the same vision that you have for something, it's difficult. But then with the people I work with, I know that they share the same vision, because even when I targeted people to say, can you please come and work with me because this is the idea I have, obviously I had studied and researched those people to say, this is the caliber of a person I need in my team, you know. And then that's 2 people that we officially work with, and then the rest 4 of them are volunteers, but they giving it their all.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So from the foundation, what is your biggest, your biggest achievement, and what the happiest moment so far?
The happiest moment thus far, let me just say 2020. We launched a program in one of the primary schools.
While 2020 is trying to kick you when you are rising.
Well, we've always been working with high school learners, you know, tertiary students, as well as people who are just entering the world of work. So it was so exciting to actually work with primary school learners, you know, trying to make them actually realize their full potential, to say, you have all these talents, you have all these skills, it's high time you actually get them nurtured. And understand that when you're moving from primary school to high school, you already have an idea and a bigger picture of what you want to do in your future. You know, going to grade 9, you are very clear on the subjects that you want to choose, and you have like an experience.
Oh, okay.
You know, because with that project, we included things like agriculture. So learners will actually choose that I want to be in the agriculture side, or I want to be in the performing arts side, or I want to be in the debating team or music and so on. Yes. And then also giving them mentoring, running workshops for them, which was actually exciting, very exciting, because when we were launching, we also got backed by eThekwini municipality as well, the community leaders as well. Because it's at Inanda, we also got the Inc. stakeholders involved, so it was quite exciting. It was quite exciting. It was a big event.
Maybe this question is more selfish other than anything else. Okay, you've got this big event in your mind that you'd like to go to a certain school and you want to do all these things, and you also say it out of your mouth that I want to have a eThekwini municipality, I want to have a school that will agree to what I'm talking about. Yes. I want to have community members also agreeing to what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I've tried to do things of that nature, but somehow, somewhere, I would fail, whether getting a stakeholder to join in, or even the people that I want to do it for. Maybe they may not be keen.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
I guess one of the things that speaks volume for me is my personality and obvious the manner of approach.
Oh,
you know?
okay. Personality adjustment.
Yes. I mean, if you're working with people, you must be, you should have a skill for people's management, people management skill. It's very important. And communication, how you actually communicate your idea, your vision to the next person, that they actually have a clear view of what you see in your mind, So for me, that's like a plus. And I think I'm not sure if from birth, because I remember I used to be shy at some point.
Okay. It's something you worked on that, because there is nothing that says that's special. So it's definitely something you worked on then.
Yeah, and then since high school, I think, being involved in the debating, news reading teams, and so on, I sort of mastered the skill on how to actually deal with stakeholder engagement and management,
Okay.
from that lower level up to this level right now, because I can say that is something I am not scared to do. Basically, that's one of the best things I do, actually. If you saying I'm putting up this event and I need you to help me connect with different stakeholders, or even do a research as to who can be strategic in doing this, I'm your person. And then you can send me there, I'll talk to people, and then I can sell the ice to the Eskimo.
I want that.
Maybe I should have been in marketing.
Well, I guess that is marketing on its own, because you do get the deals done, eh?
Yeah, I do. But then
I saw her once being an MC, so I now understand when she says she's a person of,
she's definitely a person of many talents.
I'm trying to understand as to how do you then balance this whole thing with your work, because I can see from what you just said, it consumes a lot of your time. So how do you then balance it with your work? Because I think there is quite a lot of people who want to give back to the community, but
because of their 9 to 5, they
can't.
can't.
So how do you then?
Well, I think beyond just balancing things, it's more about your passion, so, and your purpose in life. Because if ever you feel like, okay, I'm so passionate about this thing, and when I'm doing 1, 2, and 3, and 4, I am serving my purpose in life.
Okay.
Then you always get time to actually balance things out, because you know that, okay, for this X amount of time in a day, I will invest it doing this, and this amount of time I will invest it doing this. And mind you, when you are doing all those things, you have to make sure that you fully apply yourself. So I think from high school, I think, my mom actually taught me to sort of multitask, do everything, because I'll go to school, I need to come back, I need to cook, I need to, collect water, I need to wash my uniform.
Shout out to mom, then I guess you did it.
Charity begins at home. So Miss Big is one person who can, because even coming in here, and I don't want us to go out without talking about Keke that she does. She's also a businesswoman.
She's also a business.
So that's the story.
Yes.
Dabona advertisement yakho, and then that's no, I need what are these? The muffins, yes. And the corner favorite So tell everyone, and what do you then do in that sector, because you do have that business woman thinking in you again.
Yeah. I sort of balance everything, but also with baking, I started at home with my mom teaching me how to bake a fruit cake.
Mono mama.
Ask my mom. So she's very good with baking. So every now and then when she is doing her own thing, I will be there assisting, and then training me to, and I have actually 1-6 cakes. You have to actually assist, and that's how I.
She used to sell those. She used to sell them.
Yeah, at some point she used to, but she was specializing in the fruit cake, and then it sort of started as a hobby. Like, okay, baking, you're just at home. like to have muffins and then baking muffins. And then it's like, during the lockdown, it's like, hey, everyone is low on cash, low on cash.
Oh, yeah, so,
and then,
lockdown.
And it's like, okay, what is it that I can do to sort of get some money coming in? And I was like, no, I'm good in baking, and also my younger sisters can actually bake. And I'm like, okay, let's start selling this cake, let's see how it goes. And then we baked, I think it was like just 2 trays, and then put it on WhatsApp status saying we're selling this, and then like, getting responses like, okay, we'd like to taste stuff. And I was like,
okay.
all right. So eventually the orders coming in, and now people are saying, once I order again.
Yes, it's not.
I got my cake. So
I'm glad there's also that business side in you.
Yeah.
Because you can't really have all the skills and not have some money coming in.
Yeah,
So, but I promised this question about Isbani because from those who would know, Isbani is from. I wouldn't say I saw it at UKZN. That is where it's. I think their main offices are based. Yeah. So, what is your involvement with them?
Basically, the original founding partner of this man. So in late 2013, early 2014, it was me and the other 3 guys. We sat and had this idea of actually bridging the gap that is there between your multiracial schools as well as the rural school. Because all 4 of us were coming from a background of what they call these schools, like your Quanta ones,
right.
They will say disadvantaged schools, So, and realizing all the challenges that we faced when we had to now go to the university, going through the application process, acceptance of offer, going to the lecture theater for the first time, it's overwhelming, all these things that, people from all these students from rural areas are actually experiencing. And we sat and said, okay, how do we actually bridge this gap, and also looking at the results, because when you're comparing the results, you could actually see that students or learners who are actually coming from rural schools as well as townships, their results are not as good as
those from
advantage schools, so Quintile 5, so and so on. So we're like, okay, let's first start by going back to the schools and actually assist in terms of making sure that the learners there get supplementary tutorials, so that at the end of the year when they write their final results, they obtain points that allow them to actually access university. Then once they're able to access university or higher education institutions, now let's provide them with some sort of guidance and leadership skills, as well as mentoring in terms of actually now surviving in the environment and making sure that they finish their degrees at least in record time. So that's how we started. And then we started by doing Saturday classes with the schools, like I mentioned earlier on, Ilovu, and then we went as far to Inkandla and so on.
Wow.
And I remember by then I was still like the only one with the car, so drive.
No, to be quite honest, in every story that you tell or everything that you do, I get that you fully commit to whatever you are doing, because even you could tell that obviously you're not from Enkandla at the same time Elove, at the same time Enanda, but you do all these things in different places. That means you are, it speaks to the selfless nature of you, where you just do and it's your time and whatever you do, which is something that is huge, and I hope you keep it up. That is why you were recommended. Now I see why people are saying you want Miss B in the building. And another thing before we end, because of course, because of time, because of the data, we have to cut things straight and short. You are very well known for aging very fine like wine, eh? I think God has been on your side. You've got a very good gin, very fine.
Oh, thank you.
You are aging very fine. That is what we had. But before we end, I just want to know if you had a magic wand and you had maybe 100,000 sponsorship. What is it that you do? And this 100,000, of course, you're not going to use it for your own self, but where would you invest it?
Me being me, and obviously biased to education. I will definitely invest it in education. Basically, one will be assist learners from rural schools, or actually townships, I don't know, but it will have to be people who are from poor families, if I may say, or families who cannot even afford to actually pay for their university application fees. So one, I will definitely invest in that. And then two, it will be also investing now on the students who are actually now at the varsity, but they're struggling with finances, because most of the time we find that people actually get accepted. They have the acceptance of offer fee and they've applied for NSFAS, but then somewhere, somehow things don't work out. And then now they're struggling, you know. They can't even afford to maintain themselves. So if I would get a funding, I would definitely invest in that, and also being biased to a girl child, because girls face a lot of things. Like earlier on this year, we even had a campaign for the sanitary pads and also toiletries for girls or young women at varsity, because there was so much struggle about registrations and so on. And then students actually went to res, but there were so many challenges that they couldn't even afford toiletries.
Yeah, to be quite honest, we might be equal, but some people are more equal than others. Yes. Yeah, I'd say really, if you look into the whole gender thing, really we were at an advantage by the nature of us being male we are, and by the nature of you girls being women, I think you're at a disadvantage. So I think if I were to have that 100,000, I'd definitely trust you with that one. Otherwise, with that being said, this is Z, this is B, the fashion doctor, and we had Miss B. That was the first time we had a lady, and I'm seriously glad that you came through. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I wish this episode could be seen by someone who actually give you that 100,000. And with God on our side, hopefully Z photography off,
and speak things into existence.
Thank you. That was the episode. Let us continue with the saga.
You've heard a lot about Mama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go listen to that song. It's very good.
I know it. I love it actually.